We told you Biden can't run on his record, so they're going to drag him across the finish line and replace him with Kamala after inauguration. But in order to do this, they have to distract you from how old, unfit, and incompetent he is. The way they do that is to slap those labels on Trump. You'll hear Trump say the most common sense things about Biden's failed policies. His wind turbines are killing whales. His open borders letting in mental patients. The shower pressure regulations make you have a bad hair day. This week, Trump said Democrats are going to start putting electric batteries, not just in cars, but in boats. And if you know anything about how heavy these batteries are, that boat's going down. So there's a shark 10 yards away from the boat. 10 yards. Or here, do I get electrocuted? If the boat is sinking, water goes over the battery, the boat is sinking. Do I stay on top of the boat and get electrocuted? Or do I jump over by the shark and not get electrocuted? You hear that and you laugh, but it makes sense. The media hears it and calls him senile.
I know how he feels. I've been pretty excited about this whole trial. Boy, oh boy, what if Trump's convicted?
Away from the confines of the courtroom, Trump rallies, beachside at the Jersey Shore. Watch your french fries, Donald Trump. Those seagulls are mighty hungry.
I want to talk about talking to your friends and family about, you know.
I've come here from New York, where I'm being forced to endure a Biden show trial, all done by Biden. Carried out by Red. That's right, all being done by him. If some of these wackos came along, you know, these liberals saying, said, actually vote for me. You know, they all vote for me. They say, oh, Trump, I don't know. You know, like Bruce Springsteen. We have a much bigger crowd than Bruce Springsteen, right? Much bigger. I've been indicted more than the great Alphonse Capone. Scarface.
But on the other hand, if we treat this trial as a silly diversion, we risk overlooking what it signifies about the underlying root rot of our political system as we teeter on the brink of dictatorship.
Silence of the Lambs. Has anyone ever seen The Silence of the Lambs? The late, great Hannibal Lecter. He's a wonderful man.
Donald Trump is trying to sell an America that simply doesn't exist. Now, from his perspective, considering the jail time he's facing, it probably does seem that way.
Worst president by far. Jimmy Connors is Jimmy Connors is good. He's also happy. Jimmy is a very happy man.
You cannot be serious!
Both of them, because you know what? They want him out. Jimmy Carter.
So just to recap, Hannibal Lecter flows right off his tongue. But he couldn't pull up former President Jimmy Carter.
But the reality is, Donald Trump's just a criminal at the head of a cabal of criminals.
Trump, who's with you in the courtroom today?
Why Hannibal Lecter?
Donald Trump is a convicted felon. And he's going to get convicted on a lot more because he did so much more. And there's a bunch of stuff they're not even charging him with because we don't have that kind of fucking time.
More than 30,000 contacts in that phone account.
And still, no Eric.
But it is a cabal of convicts. My God. His campaign chairman, his deputy campaign manager, his personal lawyer, his chief strategist, his national security advisor, his trade advisor, his foreign policy advisor. Felon, 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 felon. His campaign fixer is a felon.
Former fixer and wet sock watching you leave it behind at the laundromat. Michael Cohen.
His own company CFO is a felon. Felon, 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 felon. They're all convicted felons. I don't know what to tell you. It is a cabal of convicts.
I bet most of the people Trump's hanging out with have like 7 different numbers. Okay, boss, this is work, this is home, this is the guy at the OTB, this is the guy who knows the guy who will know where I am, this is my cell number, and this is my cell number for when I go to jail.
He's trying to sell us on American carnage again. He's trying to sell us on a broken down America that's in decline. Does anybody actually think that? Times are tough. Hell, I know. I'm from the 80s. I remember what actually tough times were. And a lot of people do too.
The only thing he was wrong about was the backlash. It turns out his base didn't care. The MAGA crowd ate it up like...
The late, great Hannibal Lecter.
America sucks. America's bad. It's the end of the country.
We also learned what the defense ordered for lunch today. 14 pizzas, 4 cheese, 5 pepperoni, 4 sausage and pepperoni, and 1 chicken, bacon, and ranch.
55 burgers, 55 fries, 55 tacos, 55 pies, 55 cokes, 100 tater tots, 100 pizzas, 100 tenders, 100 meatballs, 100 coffees, 55 wings, 55 shakes, 55 pancakes, 55 pasta, 55 peppers, and 155 taters.
No word yet on what Trump's lawyers ordered.
The only time since World War II where we lost 1 million people was under Donald Trump. The only time ever where we lost 6 million jobs was under Donald Trump. Hell, we didn't lose that many under the Great Depression.
Republicans vying to be his running mate turned out in force at his trial today.
You just saw both Senator J.D. Vance of Ohio and Senator Tommy Tuberville of Alabama. Rick Scott joined Donald Trump in court on Friday. Vivek Ramaswamy, Congressman Byron Donalds, Congressman Corey Mills, Doug Burgum, Tim Scott, Marco Rubio. Donald Trump has brought more friends with him to court. Big entourage today. No less than 9 lawmakers showing up for former President Trump this morning. You've got Boebert and Gates are in the courtroom right now, sitting in the front row next to Eric Trump.
They have to sit next to Eric Trump. Where'd you get your tickets from? Seat Freak?
Not like any of this is new. Remember Trump steaks? Freezer burned dog crap sold in a magazine? I'm not saying it was fraud. I just love steaks, and that was an abomination.
The crime that they're accusing President Trump of is falsification of business records. But I think everybody knows he is not the bookkeeper for his company.
Trump Airlines. That was a fraud. And a couple of plane crashes, too, actually. Hell, the dude only had 20 planes. 2 of them crashed. That's 10% of the planes. 10%.
There's no case.
My God, Matt Gaetz is looming behind him like
The late, great Hannibal Lecter.
I mean, he's surrounded by fraud. You build the wall? Are you serious? Convicted of fraud. Donald Trump's entire campaign was fraud. Hell, his inaugural committee was fraud.
Florida Representative Matt Gaetz, seen here achieving maximum douche.
protester held up a sign while Gaetz was talking that said bootlickers. Of course, bootlicking is one of the things Trump paid hush money to cover up.
And this isn't just me saying it. These are convictions. These are convicted fraudsters. Convicted felons. Money laundering and just a wide variety of crimes.
Congresswoman Lauren Boebert. That's right, Lauren Boebert was in the audience. So whoever sat next to her may end up with their own hush money trial.
It's getting hard to keep up with.
I want all of the news to start asking the question, what is the crime? Because everyone in this court has not been informed of what the crime is. The defendant does not know the crime that was committed.
Trump's talking about the end of America, yet everybody seems to have a job. Unemployment's lower than it's ever been. Look at this graph. I think Biden might be onto something.
What did Trump tell Stormy while it was happening? Don't worry.
This is finishing up at some point.
Silence of the Lambs. Has anyone ever seen The Silence of the Lambs? The late, great Hannibal Lecter. He's a wonderful man. He oftentimes would have a friend for dinner. Remember the last scene? Excuse me, I'm about to have a friend for dinner. Is this poor doctor walked by? I'm about to have a friend for dinner, but Hannibal Lecter. Congratulations, the late, great Hannibal Lecter. We have people that are being released into our country that we don't want in our country. We have a new hoax alert. New hoax alert. New hoax alert. New hoax alert. He said, as it's gotten a lot of publicity, and we broke this work, doing what they do best. Apparently, the former president made reference to Hannibal Lecter and said, nice guy, quote, he even had a friend over for dinner. So we've seen Trump out on the campaign trail praising Hannibal Lecter. Apparently, he did it again this morning. Not sure we fully understand the context of that. We weren't inside the room, but neither was CNN, and that's the point. So we did what journalists do. We went to our sources who were actually there. Did Trump really call a flesh-eating serial killer a nice guy? No. Trump was joking that if he said something about Hannibal Lecter, the fake news media would say he was praising him. And CNN took the bait. Why? Because that's a vicious thing. I said, that's Silence of the Lamb. You know what that is? Has anybody seen Silence of the Lambs? Hannibal Lecter, how great an actor was he?
Things seem to be going pretty good. But Donald Trump can't get people to buy it. Because they see what he's selling. And it's dog shit.
He did not praise Hannibal Lecter.
No, much to CNN's despair, he did not. But he did joke about the fact that they were going to report fake news. And
less people are on government benefits. For the first time since Bill Clinton.
Look, I was watching on television last night about 2 in the morning after we got back to the house. house, the White House. Still hard to think of it as home. I had the TV on, and there was a Fox News commentator saying, you know, Biden is changing from trickle-down economics to build from the middle out and the bottom up. It's going to ruin America. Ruin America. We have the strongest economy in the world right now.
Less people need extra help because things are going pretty good. Interest rates are too damn high. I hear you. And if anybody wants to, buy a house right now, it's gonna suck. Of course. I remember in the 80s when interest rates were in the teens. Thank God we didn't allow Republicans to stay in office so long this last time.
My dad had a saying. He said, Joey, a job's about a lot more than a paycheck. It's about your dignity. It's about respect. It's about being able to look your kid in the eye and say, honey, it's going to be okay, and mean it. People like Donald Trump learned very different lessons. He learned the best way to get rich is inherited. Not a bad way. He learned that paying taxes was something people who work for a living did, not him.
But look at this graph. Interest rates are going the right direction. Hear Fox News. I don't know. Seems like Joe might be onto something.
This is something. 272,000.
Nancy Lazar was right. She was right.
She was right.
272,000. Everybody, the estimate was 185,000. And by the way, that blows even the top of the range from economists going in. The range was 120 to 258, and we came in at 272.
Trump's trying to sell an America that doesn't exist. An America that nobody wants. Do you want 2/3 of the government's employees to be fired and replaced with Trump people? Trump people.
The new record close for the Dow. The Dow up 342. Record close for the S&P and the NASDAQ. My goodness. All sorts of records breaking today.
Do you really think that all of the lifelong servicemen who've worked their way up to general should be fired because they didn't go along with the coup? Yeah, I don't think you do.
You learn that telling people you're fired was something to laugh about. I guess that's how you look at the world when you're in Park Avenue, Mar-a-Lago.
Donald Trump is 0 for 34. That's bad. Just to keep with the sports metaphor, I thought it was tough on crime Republicans who had this great idea for the 3 strikes and you're out policy. 1 felon, I tell you what, we're gonna get on to you, and 2, and boy, you're gonna do some time, and but 3 strikes and that's it. You're going to prison. This guy has 34. 34 felonies. And if the Supreme Court wasn't so afraid their boy's going down, he would already be on trial for the other ones too.
But if you grew up in a place like Scranton, nobody handed you anything. You paid your taxes. You made sure being told you're fired wasn't entertainment. It was a nightmare that people worried about. And all people knew, all I knew about the people like Trump who looked down on us were the people that haven't changed. They wouldn't welcome us in their homes and their clubs. Folks, where we come from matters.
Of course, this is coming from the same people that say we should fire all the prosecutors and occasionally beat up some cops. Well, of course, they say they're not down with violence, yet they're patriots who should be let out of prison and pardoned immediately. Right.
Funny, he was joking around constantly with everyone. He was really sweet to me. He saw me in there and he was like, hello, Marjorie. He's always so sweet and recognizes me.
He said very complimentary things about all of us. We had sustained applause. He said, I'm doing a very good job. I mean, we're grateful for that.
And you know what Trump meetings are like. He's electric. He's got an incredible fastball. And I think that was just exciting after all he'd been through, how strong this man is.
We represent the Lollipop Guild, the Lollipop Guild, the Lollipop Guild, and in the name of the Lollipop Guild, the defense threat.
Whatever happened to tough on crime? Surely those Republicans still exist. I would suggest 10, maybe 20% of Republicans. Pretty good Christians too, I imagine, most of them. Are you really down with this?
On January 6th, Donald Trump lit a fire in this country.
140 officers were injured. The siege lasted for 7 hours.
Stoking the flames of division and hate. Now he's pouring gasoline.
They were unbelievable patriots.
Pledging to pardon the extremists who tried to overthrow our government.
We will give them pardons.
Inciting them to try again.
Surely we can find a place of agreement. That actually committing crimes is not probably the guy we ought to pick for the presidency of the United States.
When I look at the economy, I don't see it through the eyes of Mar-a-Lago. I see it through the eyes of Scranton, and that's not hyperbole. That's a fact. Where honesty and decency matter. Where faith matters. Where family is everything. Where we grew up knowing in our homes that Wall Street didn't build this country. The middle class built this country. And unions built the middle class.
Do you think the public will have the appetite, the stomach, for watching deportations on their television screen?
Well, that question is so great and so tough. Because, the radical left is going to start saying, oh, look, beautiful mother, it'll become a story. Then it's going to always be tough. When they say that the seas will rise over the next 400 years, 1/8 of an inch, which means basically you have a little more beachfront property, okay? There's not woke in the military. There's woke at the top. They want there to be woke, but these guys aren't meant for woke.
Are you going to fire those generals? The woke generals at the top? Keep them talking
Yes, I would get rid of them, yeah. But see, now I know them. I didn't know them before. I came in. What do I know? I was a New York real estate person, but no, I'd fire them. I would fire them. You can't have woke military. So we're going to cut the Department of Education, let it be run locally.
Governing is about the art of compromise. And in a world where Republicans refuse to compromise in any way, not now, not ever, while completely destroying the federal government and taking over with a coup, do you really believe that it's not because he's a criminal? Joe Biden likes to say, don't compare me to the almighty, compare me to the alternative. This alternative.
Is it a good idea for the Republican Party to nominate a convicted felon? The answer is 100% yes.
I do believe the Supreme Court should step in. Obviously, this is totally unprecedented, and it's dangerous to our system.
This is what you see in Banana Republic.
Someone who wants to just burn it all down is a loser. Donald Trump is a loser. Donald Trump is just a criminal loser. And he's running a cabal of criminals. He's running a cabal of felons. He's running a cabal of convicted felons. My God. Wouldn't want you to vote for this guy. Of course, that's my God. I don't know who you worship. Maybe his name is Donald.
America loves President Trump because he's plain-spoken, easy to understand, and he is clear as a bell.
Bing, bong, bong, bing, 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 bing.
Donald Trump is a criminal loser. I'm Zachariah, Lone Star Liberal. Y'all take it easy. And please, please subscribe. Press that subscribe button. I will never ask you to do anything for me except subscribe and then watch every single video, like them, and spread them with your friends and, like those too.
Donald Trump lost 2 debates to me in 2020. Since then, he hadn't shown up for debate. Now he's acting like he wants to debate me again. Well, make my day, pal.
Okay, well, you don't have to do any of that, but subscribe. It would really help me out. The algorithm loves it. And quite frankly, I get off on it.
His bones may be 80, but those teeth are in their teens. And Joe Biden will gnaw Trump's flesh like, who?
The late, great Hannibal.
Come on, come on, come on, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Don't negotiate, let's investigate, we'll accelerate.